Hey there, welcome back to the Support Ops Hangout. This is our weekly podcast that helps you deliver a better support experience to your customers. I'm your host, Chase Clemens. On today's show, we're going to be looking at some holiday scheduling fun since it's December and the holidays are here. But before we do that, let's go ahead and meet all of our panel. First up, the other great Chase, who we're kind of geeking out because Clemson is number one in the football poll, so we were really excited about that. But yeah, so how's things in Automatic World?
Things in Automatic World are well, and I must say, go Tigers.
Go Tigers! That's awesome. Next up, Carolyn from Buffer, who it was kind of dicey. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's exciting, and I'm sure she'll tell us in the next episode. But for now, we're just glad you were on the show.
Me too. I'm glad I made it.
And then Jeff's out this week, but his wonderful fellow Wistian, yeah, that's what we're calling, right? Wistian? Aaron
that's
from the team. Yeah, so Aaron, for first, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here with you lovely, lovely folks.
Yeah, and so for anybody that hasn't ever heard of you before, what are you doing over at Wistia?
Well, I sort of took over where Jeff left off. He moved over to the product team over at Wistia earlier this year, as you guys probably know. And he sort of tapped me in on his way out, and I got this beautiful team of people that are just really crazy smart. We're building out a support and a success team, so trying to figure that whole thing out. Yeah, just chilling over here in Boston, whole different world from Seattle, but really fun. A great team.
Chilling in Boston, where it's literally freezing outside.
Yeah, literally chilling.
Literally chilling. Also, to piggyback on that, if you haven't heard of Aaron Wheeler, this is the best day of your life.
Wow, Carolyn is the nicest person ever. That is too generous of you. Thank you.
I'm so excited for all the people who fall into that category because you're just in for a treat.
Oh, well, thank you. Same to you.
All right, so this week we're talking about that fun topic, holiday scheduling. It's that time. It's December, and you've probably already experienced a little bit of it with Thanksgiving, trying to get your coverage right for that. But now you've got Christmas and the New Year to figure out as well. And those holidays are going to be here before you know it. So we wanted to kind of help you start thinking. You're probably already thinking about it, but we wanted to help you think about it a little bit more as far as how to handle the scheduling around it. So that's the topic. We're gonna start. Let's start with Aaron, since he's the guest on the show. When you're looking forward to Christmas, New Year's, that kind of week, right? So like the week between Christmas Eve and New Year's Day, how do you go about thinking about that in terms of scheduling and making sure you've got enough coverage?
Yeah, it's really kind of tricky. I'd say it's trickier at Wistia than I used to work at Moz. I'd say it was trickier at Wistia because Moz effectively has unlimited vacation. They're really generous with vacation time, but Wistia has it as part of their policy, just unlimited vacation. So whereas in previous jobs, you're able to sort of say hey, if you want to take your vacation at a different time, go right ahead and just schedule your normally scheduled vacation time elsewhere. Wistia doesn't exactly work in that model because anyone can take vacation anytime. So it's really about talking with the team about what they already have hard scheduled, and then working in sort of a volunteer capacity to figure out how we're going to cover the other places. And for us, that was a matter of looking at tickets from last year, seeing what the volume was on the week before and after Christmas, and sort of staffing voluntarily from there.
Like it. Carolyn, what are y'all doing at Buffer?
Yeah, same song. We kind of ask people to choose which day or days are the most important to them on those around those holidays. In general, we find that sort of anecdotally, people with families and kids tend to feel like Christmas Day is a really important day to take off. People with maybe who aren't spending time with kids, our Christmas Eve tends to be a closer day, and then Boxing Day is important in some countries, but not at all in the U.S. So it kind of shakes out. People generally pick the day that's most important to them, take it completely off, and then check in unlike Thanksgiving, which is a little bit slower, Christmas is a lot slower. It is sort of a worldwide holiday in that way. So, we do banners and stuff in the contact form, and we let everybody know that this is happening. But yeah, we just kind of pop in when we can.
Yeah, is there you bring up a good point as far as like some days being more important than others. When we look at Christmas Day and New Year's Day, like with Basecamp, those are completely shut holidays. We don't do any work, we don't schedule anybody, that kind of thing. Does Buffer have any like hard rule like that? Is there any like we're just closed this day?
No.
No? Aaron, what about Wistia?
Yeah, we're trying out being closed day of and day after Christmas. Or rather, day before and day of, and then for New Year's, same thing. So New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Our load on those days is about like a quarter to a half, so it'll be kind of hard to pick it back up. But fortunately, this year they're like buffeting weekends, so it makes it a little bit easier.
When you say
we all got lucky with those weekends.
When you say
Yeah.
closed, are you saying like you just don't respond, or you're not even like? Oh, are we talking like automatic style, turn off the contact form?
Oh, yeah. So we'll let
wow.
Chase get to that in just a second because I'm curious on that one. But yeah, as far as Basecamp goes, it's one of those where we put up a notice on the page and just say, hey, look, we're off for today. You can submit a ticket. We'll get you an answer back tomorrow when we get back. So it's not a hard like lock the door, don't let anybody in kind of thing. It's more like, yeah, drop your note off. We've got it, and then we'll get back to you as soon as the shop opens tomorrow. Yeah, Chase, what's automatic?
Yeah, so we do indeed oftentimes disable the contact form for new tickets for holidays and that kind of thing. And I imagine
that's not like just locking the door. That's like Harry Potter style, like the house is disappearing.
Yeah,
shred the door.
I think most users have probably by this point figured out the email address that contact form goes to, because it's the same email address they get replies from. So it really, honestly, doesn't make a huge difference. But it makes us feel better, I guess. So yeah. But I mean, we're very similar. Some people take 2 weeks off at Christmas. Some people don't take any time off and work. Christmas Day, all the days. So I think we're lucky enough to have enough people that the schedules all sort of balance out. And honestly, I think at least for the past several years, January is actually our busiest support month of the entire rest of the 12 months or 11 months. So we focus a lot more on January than we do December and Christmas, because usually those aren't nearly as busy as compared to, I guess, people making New Year's resolutions to blog maybe or something like that. But yeah, January is usually a pretty crazy month for us, so that's sort of where we focus our efforts.
This is
Can I ask
the
a
year
quick
we get the
aside on
blog
that?
going. Yeah.
And everything else, because I think it's always like just January load for everyone maybe. So I'm curious, do you guys, I've never heard of anyone like turning off the form. I'd love to hear more about like just a thought process behind turning off the contact form, and then if you guys do that in other situations. That's a really interesting approach.
Yeah. So we, at least since I've been at Automatic, which is coming up on 2 years now, we've done that for holidays. Usually it's like right around, so like day, sort of what you mentioned, like Christmas Day, maybe Christmas Eve, and then reopen, a day or two later, maybe even the day after, something like that. So yeah, but we think that for our users, it's probably maybe a better experience that not to have to wait 5-6 days for us to catch up and just say, hey, we're spending time with our families right now. Spend some time with yours, and then send us this question email or whatever when we get back. I think in some ways maybe we have the luxury that our service maybe isn't as maybe not as integral. So if they're having a jetpack problem, their website's probably still up, and so a lot of the issues we see aren't like mission critical to what they're doing. Whereas our VIP customers or something like that, they're not going to close that contact form down, because if they have a problem, then that's going to be a major issue over on WordPress.com VIP. And the
Yeah.
same with, WooCommerce or something like that, where if somebody's trying to run a store around Christmas time, if their contact form's closed and they can't get in touch, that's going to be a major issue. And so yeah, we make that decision. We do it sometimes even during the grand meetup when the whole company is together, just to try to take that burden, the burden off, or the guilt off of not doing tickets while you're spending time with your colleagues and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just what we do.
That's cool. That's really cool. That's really unique.
I like it. So, for listeners, if that's what you want to do, just be like, no, Automatic does it, and they run like 25% of the web. So, and just kind of like give everybody a baseline. Basecamp is kind of the approach that Wistia and Buffer outlined. We basically outline each day, and we say we need, one EU person to work today. We need 2 US people to work today, and just let people self-select. It works out really well. Some people want to work New Year's versus working Christmas Eve, and in the long run, like I said, it all just balances out. Really, it's really cool how it just kind of naturally happens, so we don't have to worry about any of that. The next big question that I kind of got a lot of was pay around this time of the year. So, Carolyn, we'll start with you on this one. Does Buffer offer any extra pay for working, say, like day after Christmas or anything like that?
No.
Well, that was easy.
Nope. We don't do any of that kind of stuff. We don't do bonuses. We don't do we don't have anything like that. The salary on the spreadsheet is what you get. And also, we fly you to places like Hawaii in January. And you get unlimited books, and 100% healthcare. And I don't mean to imply that there aren't incredible, generous things happening literally every single day. But in terms of like more actual cash, we don't do that.
Yeah, I got a feeling same for Automatic Wistia, but just to be sure, right? Same for y'all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those where you don't see it as much with kind of like online support teams like we do. I know when I was working at a restaurant before I joined with Basecamp, it was state laws where if it's hourly employees and they work the day before a holiday and the day after a holiday, then you have to pay them for the holiday, and you've got to pay them at time and a half. So for our listeners, if you're not running straight salary like we are, and you're working like hourly kind of rates, make sure to double check your state laws around that kind of stuff. We don't want to get you in trouble or anything like that. Don't be like, oh well, Buffer doesn't do it, so we don't have to. So yeah, kind of keep that in mind. So how do you let Aaron? We'll start with you on this one. How do you let your customers know what your game plan is going into the holiday week? How do you let them know, slower response times, or we're taking this day off? Like, how do you set those expectations?
Yeah. So right now, the thing that we've done since I've been here for the past few months is just use the auto replier. Let people know at the point that they've already contacted us that they're going to get a slower response. We usually like to have a fun little video in there too, of course, which is great, but doesn't have really high watch rate. So I think like the autoresponder is not one of the most read pieces of material a customer gets. But at the same time, like it's an obvious place to put that sort of notification. I do think that putting it on the contact form sounds awesome and like a no-brainer that we should totally be doing.
Yeah, so Chase, when y'all just shut off the contact page, is that what you're doing? Just putting a notice up?
Yeah, essentially there's a notice that's on the contact page, and they can always, I guess I probably should have mentioned this, but we also provide, at least for Jetpack and even to some extent WordPress.com, there's still a help forum that is essentially impossible to shut off. So if they are having issues, they can obviously go post there, and usually one of us is always watching those. So it's not like people can't get in touch at all, because nowadays people tweet support questions and that kind of thing. So you're going to get your question seen regardless. It's just that we choose to shut off the contact form and push people towards other avenues that may still be less monitored and a slower response time because of the holidays or because we're spending time with family or whatever. But it's not like we're jerks or angry people and don't want to help our customers at all.
It's not like you just 404 the entire help site. So
right, yeah. There's still plenty of docs for them to read and that kind of thing. So
You mentioned the people figuring out the email address, which now every WordPress.com user that listens to the show is going to do. Any autoresponder or anything like that?
No, we have in the past, I think, added some verbiage or whatever to the autoresponder to let people know. But we don't often change that. I think right now for like Jetpack, it essentially says, we've got your email. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. It's not and maybe a link to the help site. It's not something that we put a lot of effort or a lot of words or anything into, just because I think, like Aaron mentioned, it doesn't really seem like people read that too often, because honestly we find ourselves sending some of the same links that we've tried in that to different help documents back to the user via email anyway when they respond to us. So that's not something that I've done, at least personally, at Automatic.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I actually read an autoresponder. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Carolyn, same question over to you. So how are you setting those expectations? But I'm particularly interested in, Buffer has a substantial amount of questions coming in, like via Twitter. So how are you setting those expectations on social media?
So we do have, in the email form, we do have, in the contact form, the message. And we do, we have played with the autoresponder. I think that the autoresponder is sort of great, not because people read it, but because people then at least know that their email's been received, whereas like if they're used to hearing back in 3 hours or in Basecamp land 3 minutes, and they don't, then maybe they would wonder if it was received. But social media, honestly, we do monitor a lot more closely over. It's just so much easier to like pop in and answer 15 tweets. So even when we're off, we kind of do keep a closer eye on that. So we don't set expectations. We don't send a tweet or anything that says like we'll be monitoring or not monitoring at this time. Like we just do our best. But we tend to do better on Twitter than we do on email on those days.
Yeah, and just to kind of, again, round things out with Basecamp, don't do any autoresponders just because, like Carolyn mentioned, when you get a reply in 3 minutes, that autoresponder is probably getting there like at minute 4, so it's kind of weird there. So we don't do anything like that. We our contact page usually has how quickly we're replying to those tickets, and that's usually just what we alter there. So like on the page you go to submit your ticket, it just says, hey, look, it's the holidays. Going to be a little bit longer. But even then, our volume drops down to the point where it's not, I mean, we're not talking the difference between like 3 minutes and 3 days. We're talking the difference between like 3 minutes and maybe like 30 on the outside. So it still works out pretty well. You're still getting answers pretty quickly. But yeah, that's how we set those. Yeah, that's the questions I had. Gang, anything else you want to throw in?
I think the only thing that I would add is I do think that autoresponders can be useful for us in the situation where customers are like trying to get an escalation faster. We have this, I don't know if Jeff's talked about it, but we have this email address, emergency at Wistia, and that autoresponder is where you get that email address. So we get like probably 1 or 2 emails every few days that's like, look, this is seriously an after-hours emergency. Can you please help me? That goes to a different like all staff email. So that they do get read a little bit, but maybe only by people who really feel the urgency. I don't know. Just thought it was an interesting point.
Yeah, and now all of our listeners have to get right to
dang. Don't ever email that. It's only for 911 emergencies.
Oh, see, that's the best part of listening to their show. You learn these little shibboleth moves to get you to the right people.
It's true.
Oh, all right. So that's how.
You didn't betray anything. He's just busting your chops. Jeff has talked about that email address millions of times.
I am sorry. A little new guest hazing.
No hazing.
I love hazing.
Oh, so that's what we thought. That's how we handle all of our holiday schedules. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Do me a favor, let us know how you're handling. Especially, I'm really interested around those of you that, I've seen it pop up here and there, but a few of you that offer incentives for picking those holiday shifts. It's something we don't really do, so I'd love to hear more about how that works. So super easy to get in touch with us. It's chase@supportops.co, or head over to supportops.co and click on that big contact link there. So let us know how you do it. Before we jump into the final part of the show, I did want to bring this up because I promised Scott I would. It's just a straight-up plug for a brand new conference from the great community over at Support Driven, SupConf. I love that name. It's a conference for folks who want to make a career out of support. It's happening May 23rd through the 24th in San Francisco. So go ahead and just block that off in your calendar. Head over to supconf.supportdriven.com. I'll have that link in the show notes. You can get all your details there and keep track of everything going on. From the people I know behind the scenes that are involved in it, it's just going to be great. So I would definitely recommend blocking that couple of days out on your calendar so you can make plans to get out there. So to wrap up this week, let's dive into my favorite part of each and every week.
No?
No? Nobody? Chase Livingston looked like he was going to do it.
There you go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to lead you on.
Wow, I had no idea what was going on there for a second.
Usually Jeff does the drums and I do the final noise. What is that?
Oh, beautiful.
We should be prepared for eventualities. Like, you would think as support people we would be prepared for something.
For when people are out.
Yeah, so it's this week's shout-outs. These are the things that are making us happy, so happy you want to shout them out from the rooftops to let you know you should be doing, buying, reading, seeing, whatever the verb is for this week. So let's start with Chase Livingston. What app do you have?
Actually, I'm changing it up a little bit this week. I'm gonna do a bit of an anti-shout-out just because I feel like I was a little upset with FedEx this weekend. So I had a package that was supposed to be. It ended up being delivered today, but it was. I noticed when I tracked it that it was at the local facility on Saturday, and it said not scheduled for delivery or not due for delivery. I'm like, you got it in like Friday night. Why can you not, bring it to me on Saturday like you normally would? I'd never seen that before. So I was like, I don't mind going to pick it up, if it's just sitting there. So I called, their 1-800-GO-FedEx or whatever, talked to a nice lady on the phone there, and she said, yeah, sure, you can go, I gave her the tracking number. She said, yeah, sure, you can go pick it up if you want it today. So, I drive, 20, 30 minutes, wherever it is, to the local FedEx facility and get out there and get to the counter, and she says, oh, no, you can't pick this up today. It's in a wrapped up pallet that won't be open until Monday. And I said, but I just talked to somebody on the phone, and she said, oh, yeah, they don't know how the local stations work and all that. I'm like, but you're FedEx, and they were FedEx. Like, how were so she couldn't give me an answer for that. So I left a little upset with the experience I had there. Just felt like maybe I should share that. Hopefully somebody from FedEx is listening and can maybe figure out what went wrong there.
Surely we've got somebody from FedEx listening. Come on now.
Surely.
It's like it's on a pallet right over there, like just right there.
I don't know.
Oh, something still boggles me. All right, Carolyn. On a happier note, I'm hoping.
Okay. Well, not really, but okay.
This is going to be the anti-shout-out episode, evidently.
First, what do you call a dinosaur with an extensive vocabulary?
A dinosaur with an extensive vocabulary. I'm bracing myself. I don't know.
Aaron hasn't given up yet.
I don't know. I give up.
That was a good effort. Does everybody give up?
Yeah.
I was trying.
A thesaurus.
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. Okay. So my actual shout out, it's not an anti-shout out, but it's not a shout out. It's kind of a when I love them and they're going away. So mailbox.
I know.
I'm so sad. So I need people to tell me what they use on their iPhones for email.
Outlook.
Outlook. That is not a word I expected to hear.
The Outlook iOS app is like the closest thing I've found to Mailbox.
You're kidding.
Huh. Wow.
Everybody that I've talked to that has been using Mail, well, just about everybody has switched over to Outlook. I know a lot of people that have started using that.
See, this is why I asked the question. I never would
Good
have
things
thought of
about
that.
Outlook too.
What about the rest of y'all? And everybody who's listening, tweet at me.
Yeah, I got no other mail app for you. I'm still using the Gmail app like a fool. But
That's
it
a
works
good
okay.
answer.
Yeah.
I use the Apple Mail app like a fool, evidently.
Okay, lots of good options.
There was one, what was it, Spark, I think?
Yeah,
I think I
Spark is
saw that
pretty
one
neat.
mentioned.
I found it a little too complicated for me though. That's why I switched back to using Outlook.
Does Yahoo have an app, a mail app? That'd be fun. Try it out.
Maybe.
AOL. AOL probably has a
Probably.
mail app.
Probably.
Yahoo
Try it
Mail,
out.
come on.
Yeah, you're right.
Cool.
Before we
Duh.
get depressing now with mail apps. Aaron, what's your shout out?
Mine actually ties into the mail conversation. You guys probably already know about this app, but it is amazing. It changed my life when I found out about it. And I've only been using it for a few months, but I think it's really old. It's called Boomerang. It's an extension for Gmail, and it is sweet. So what it does is, anytime you send out mail, it just adds adds a layer, injects to the Gmail app in Chrome. So it adds send this back to me later, or send this back to me later if no one responds within X amount of time. So if I want to send out an email and I don't want to put in a task in Trello or Basecamp or whatever, just to notify me later on to resend this email, Boomerang just resends the email to you later on. It lets you follow up really easily. You can send later. It's free. It's just a great little app if you're a Gmail Chrome user. Check it out. And then I have another one because I saw sometimes you guys like talking about fun stuff. I've been watching the second season of Fargo, and it is fantastic. You guys got to check it out. That's my other one. Watch it. It's very violent, so if you don't like violence, don't watch it. But it's not that violent, all things considered. It's not like Game of Thrones violence. You'll be okay.
I love that. It's great, but it's violent, so don't watch it.
Yeah.
It was just that
Sorry.
shift all of a sudden. It was great. But so I haven't seen Fargo season 2. Season 1 was phenomenal. I loved it.
So good.
Yeah. All right. So, Marilyn, you ready for this just horrible, horrible joke?
I'm ready.
All right. So, do you know where you can get chicken broth in bulk?
I want to say something like a brothel, but I imagine that's not correct.
That's actually a better answer.
That is a great answer.
I will not be able to top that, so you tell me.
My lesser answer was the stock market, but
Oh yeah,
That's good.
brothel's solid. That's on point. And you said you didn't know jokes, Chase. Come on.
Well, I just made that one awkward for everybody. That's all.
Oh, and my shout out this week is to Jeff, of all people. I can brag about him because he's not here. That's how this works. He had a great post about his Icelandic adventures, and it was equally entertaining and cringing, and just it was great. It was just fantastic all the way around. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes, and so you can check that. There's a hint. There's a video of them on the side of the road. It's just dark, and they have to walk now in Iceland, where it's like snowing. It's fantastic. I loved it. It was a mini adventure. So yeah, I'll put that when he went to Iceland. I have no idea when he went.
I think it was I don't know, half a year ago? Maybe it was a year ago.
It took him that long to write the
To
post?
post
Dang.
I don't know. Maybe it was yesterday. I have no idea what he's doing over there.
Oh, so loyal. So loyal.
Yeah.
Oh, all
He
right.
just went to Australia, He's doing good things.
Jeff, we all love you. It's just because you're gone. That's all. That's the only reason we're talking. That's it. All right. So that's it. This Hangout's in the books. We'll have show notes up, supportops.co shortly. Big thanks again to our awesome panel and to Aaron for stepping in. I'm sure this is not the last we've seen of you.
Hooray! I hope not.
We hope that too.
Oh, if
We'll
you're
see.
feeling
I'll bring my worst jokes.
if you're feeling generous this week, do us a favor. Tell a friend about the show. Share your favorite episode on Twitter, whatever it is. Assuming everything goes right, we've got one more episode, and then we're going to take the holiday break. So make sure to tune in next week. Same time, same place. And until we see you then, have an awesome week.